heels. So as you shift your weight forward, I want you to lift your heels. Activate and lift your pelvic floor, give your bottom a squeeze, and then come back down. Let's add your arms in as well, just a little bit of interest with those arms. So breathing out and breathing in. If you can go straight up from here without any wobbling, you know that your balance is and you are centered and your balance is good. If you want to challenge, close your eyes when you do this. Let's do 2 more. Oh, that is a little challenge. And then we're just going to keep our heels lifted and then drop into our foot pedals. So you're bending one knee and taking the opposite arm down. So it's like walking on the spot. And then what we're going to do is just let your pelvis walk side to side. So what happens when you do that? It's quite a nice little movement, but not really much going on in the abdominals or the glutes. And then try and think more about going up and down rather than side to side. And you should start to feel a little bit more activation in your bottom muscles, in your thighs, in your pelvic floor. And then again, try it with your eyes closed. So one heel goes down, the other one lifts up. Again, nice work for the feet and the ankles. Let's just do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then both heels down, give those shoulders a little wiggle. Give your feet a little wiggle as well. Okay, so we're going to go from here. We're going to lift one arm and the opposite knee. So just come into us holding a little pause balance, even that's challenging. And then down, and then lift the other side. So I want you to imagine that you can put your foot up and pick your foot up and put it back down in exactly the same spot, but without looking at the floor. Think about keeping that length. We haven't really spoken about it today, but we sometimes do. Speak about the length and the space between your pelvis and your hips. So pelvis and your hips, pelvis and your ribs. Can you keep that space as you bring the leg up? So what it means is you don't do that and crouch over. So keep thinking about lengthening up towards the ceiling. So opening up your chest, opening up the space in your abdominals as well, and breathing. Just do 1 more each side. And pause here, and then bring your foot down. Well done. Okay, take your feet in a tandem stance. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So let's go right foot forward. Bring your arms up in front of you. Relax those shoulders. We're going to go into some bow and arrow arms here. When you're in a tandem stance, it puts you off balance a little bit. So again, good balance work. Susan's already started. Off you go. So one arm reaches out, just tracking your hands with your eyes as you come back. So starting to add a little bit of rotation in as well. Rotation is really good for us, especially, I've said before, if you're doing a lot of work at your desk or you do spend a lot of time in one position. It's really good to introduce some upper back rotation. Your body likes to move, doesn't like to stay in one position. Okay, close your eyes now as you track your hands. So turn your head still, turn your elbow, or take your elbow behind you, I should say, but have your eyes closed. And then just do 1 more, and then come back to the start. Okay, switch sides, so swap feet. Same thing, exactly the same thing, relaxing your shoulders. You can start off with your eyes open, or you can go straight into eyes closed. But what I want you to focus on, as you start to bring that elbow and the hand back, just notice, be aware of your abdominal muscles and what they're doing to support you as you rotate. You can also try a little lift in your pelvic floor, and that will help stabilize you as well. Just do 1 more each arm. And then come back to the center. Bring your feet back to parallel. You're going to take your hands behind your bottom and just slightly bend your knees. I want you to imagine you're peering over a cliff. We've done this lots of times. Peering over a cliff, so you're not going into a squat just yet. And then I want you to think about lifting your pelvic floor. So think about not just lifting at the front, but squeezing your back passage as well as you straighten your legs and bring yourself back up. So the movement comes not from your back muscles, but from your bottom muscles. So little lift in the pelvic floor, squeeze your back passage. You might feel your glutes working, but hopefully it's a nice deep internal feeling that you're getting as well. And again, so it's not very far, you're literally just peering over the cliff and then coming back up. So as you come up this time, press your heels into the floor. That will help you to activate your glutes. Good. And then you can start to go a little bit further. So dropping down, bending the knees a bit more, but try to keep your chest upright. So if you've got nice and tight calves like me, it's quite hard to do. So breathing in, down, breathing out as you come up. And then release your arms in front of you. So going into a deeper squat now. Imagine there's a chair behind you. Could you sit in that chair and then bring yourself back out of the chair? So pressing the heels in. Press your toes in as well, especially your big toe, and that will help to activate your pelvic floor at the front. We're just going to do 2 more and then we're going to go into some single legs. So last one. Okay, so from here, as you come up, go into that single leg balance. So squat down and then up on the other side. Again, if you want to challenge yourself, you can try these with your eyes closed. So the challenge is that stabilization when you're balancing on one leg. That's the challenging part really, not the moving. Stable and hold. Let's just do 1 more each side. And then pause here. Well done. Okay, go back into your squats. This time we're going to lift your heels off the floor. So come into a little calf raise. So lift up and once again just stabilize and pause. Option if you want to, close your eyes. Breathe in, down. Think about shooting up towards the ceiling like a rocket and try and just pause and hold. And try and make sure it's not just your calf muscles that are doing all the work. So activate your glutes as well. Give your bottoms a little squeeze. Have a little lift in your pelvic floor. Whew. Let's just do 2 more. And last one, lift those heels. Keep your heels lifted now. Bring your arms out in front of you. Let's try a little bow and arrow arms here with the heels lifted. And again, switch. Just do 1 more each side. Again, close your eyes if you want that extra super balance challenge. Oh. And then bring your heels down. Walk your feet back together and then just bring your heels together slightly and turn your toes out. So we're going to go into a plie squat here. So I can't keep my heels down. Some of you might be able to keep your heels down as you squat down and then squeeze your inner thighs together as you come back up. So breathing in and breathing out. So think about pushing your heels together as you come up. So for me to squat down lower, I have to lift my heels. That's fine. If you have to lift your heels, that's okay. Just make sure your knees track out over your toes. Just do 4 more. So you should start to feel those leg muscles getting nice and warm. And last 2. Make this your last one. And stand up nice and tall and just give those feet a little pedal. Okay, you ready for some single leg work? So you're going to take your weight onto your right foot. Take your left leg behind you. I want you to imagine you're holding something between your left back of the knee. Bring your hands onto your pelvis and then we're going to do that hip hinge that we did earlier. So imagine you're peering over a cliff. So you don't want to go too far, otherwise you'll face plant. Just peering over that cliff. And then with the back leg, you're going to push your foot up and behind you. So just looking at the floor in front of you, about 1 meter in front of you as you push that leg up. So you're feeling that there's a lot of work going on in this stabilising leg, but there's also some work going on in the hamstring and the glutes of the back leg. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring your hands either side of your temples. So your elbows are nice and wide, rather than being on your pelvis. Let's just do that 2 more times. And then pause here. From here, you're going to take that back leg across and then drop down into a curtsy. And then come back up. So out, curtsy down, and then bring the leg back up. I'll show you face on. So taking your leg behind you. Again, your option, you don't have to have your hands here. You can have your hands on your pelvis if you want to. Good. And again, drop into the curtsy. And up 1 more time here. Okay, from here we go out to the side. So wide squat, turn your feet out a little bit. Squat down. Can you bring your leg back up and then drop back into that curtsy? So we're going almost 3 positions. So wide squat, down. Lift your pelvic floor, stabilize. Take your leg behind. So at the moment we're doing these nice and slow. But once you get the hang of it, you can speed it up. But just make sure that you're nice and stable. How's that leg doing? Starting to get a bit out of breath as well. Let's just do 2 more. So make this your last one. And actually let's come out into that deep wide leg squat. Bring your hands onto your thighs, just roll your shoulders back and down and up. Helen Moynihan, these are for you. I know you love these sumo squats. So as you come up, lift up your pelvic floor. And think about, it's harder to activate your pelvic floor actually when you're moving, isn't it? Just pushing those knees out to the side. Let's just do one more. Bring those arms out in front of you and then lift your heels if you can. If you need a bit of support, bring your hands back down or bend your heels, bring your heels down, sorry. And then just do some little pulses here. Again, imagine you're sitting down on something behind you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your heels, stand up nice and tall, and bring those arms out. So let's just have a little stretch out before we do that on the other side. So our little rib slide. So sliding your top ribs over your pelvis, using your abdominals, and then turning your hands up, palms up, turning your head side to side. Next time you come to your left, let's just pause here, windmill those arms up and over. Use your abdominals again to help bring you back to the center, and do the same on the other side. Lovely. Okay, so you're going to take your weight onto your left leg this time. Start with your hands on your pelvis, hinge at your hips so that you're looking down, peering over that cliff. So you've got a little bit of an angle. And then that back leg, imagine you're holding a ball between your thigh and your calf, and you're just pushing it up, pushing that foot up and slightly behind you. So the upper body is not really doing anything. You're holding yourself nice and still in your pelvis. And again, your challenge, if you want to accept it, is to bring your hands behind or just onto your temples. Try to look down rather than looking forward at the screen. So you're looking probably about a meter in front. 3 more, 2, and 1. Okay, from here, bring yourself back up to straight. We're going to take that leg, tap it behind. So toe goes down into that curtsy squat, and then bring it back up. So step behind, down. And with control, you come into balance. So it's all about balance, stability, and a bit of coordination here as well. So we're not just working your body, we're working your mind when you do movements like this. Good. 2 more. And then we're going to go into that deep side squat. Okay, so from here, we drop into the side squat. Turn your toes out slightly. Drop down. Come up, or wobble, wobble into that stability, and then back into your curtsy. And you might find that it's easier on one side than the other. Definitely easier on the other side for me. Up, pause, step to the side. So once you get the hang of it and you're confident with your balance and stability, you can make these a little bit quicker. But still stay in control. Good, everybody. Looks lovely. We're not quite synchronized, but we're not far off. Okay, let's just do one more. And then step out, nice and wide again. Roll those shoulders back. And then see if you can go a little bit lower this time. If this doesn't work for your knees, just stay high, okay? Don't force your knees to do something they don't want to do. Nice and low, okay? And then lift up your pelvic floor as you straighten those legs. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in on the way down. Press the outside edge of your feet into the floor as well. And as you come up, expand the space between your pelvis and your ribs. Slide your shoulder blades down. Let's just do that 2 more times. And then we're going to stay down once more. Pause here, roll your shoulders back, push your knees out. If you want to, lift your heels, and let's do some more little pulses. Don't do the knees, lift the heel lift, sorry if your knees don't like it. Can you drop a little bit lower for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels down, turn your toes back to face the front. Bring those arms out, and then back into your rib slide. Does that feel good? Okay, let's just do 1 more each side. And then again, windmill your arms up and over. Look up at your top arm, and this time, just do some nice circles, 2 nice big circles all the way around. And then the same the other way. So reach first, and then do your circles. 1, and a 2. Just interlink your fingers above your head. Big stretch up, so stretch out, open that space again, open through your abdominals. Breathing in, and then as you breathe out, just give your hands a little shake and bring your legs back together.